Sound on, sound on. All right. And then transition over to the talking screen. And hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you this evening?
I am doing all right. Did you do anything exciting since last time? Ooh, phone's being weird.
I mowed my lawn.
Lawn mowing can be fun. Although
Um,
probably
when have you ever mowed a lawn?
maybe once, twice, maybe. Um, so I guess maybe I'm just sort of saying that it could be fun in the like abstract sense.
Uh-huh.
It definitely sounds quite tedious and unpleasant, especially if it's warm, which it probably was recently.
Well,
Um,
Saturday was cooler. It was like maxed out at like 61, 62, something like that. So that wasn't bad.
nice. It is definitely not going to be that way anytime soon again. Well, I mean, I guess maybe there'll be like a rainy day that'll get cold or something. Um,
That would be
but
pleasant.
yeah. But we are approaching summer, and it will be quite warm outside. But
Unfortunately.
yeah.
All
All right. I didn't
right.
do anything. Oh,
Let's Sudoku. But you
yep,
were saying you didn't do anything, so
yep. So it's Sudoku time. All right. So first puzzle for today is going to be Set for Success by Hannah. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits along an arrow sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. Digits separated by a white dot must be consecutive.
well,
A link into the chat.
there's an arrow in box 3 that its circle it has to be 6, 7, or 8, so it has to have a 1 on it.
Same for the arrow in box 5 and its
Yep.
associated arrow in box 2, and neither can be a 9.
Yeah, that's why I just said 6, 7, and 8 has to have a 1 on it. The one in box 4 is also, but it can include 9.
And therefore it doesn't require a 1. However, if we pair that with the arrow at the top of column 1, then this one
Ah,
and that one
not be
have
6.
to
Bottom one cannot be 6 because that would be 1, 2, 3, which would leave
4 and
4,
5.
5 minimum. So there are a minimum of 15.
Mm-hmm. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sum to 15, and since those circles have the same sum as the arrows, then they are also minimum 15.
Hmm. The circle in box 2 cannot be a 7 because that would have to be a 1, 2, 4, and there's a 4 in the column.
Right. So it's either 1,
It's
2,
going to
3.
have a 3, yeah, or 1, 2, 5 because we can't do 1, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm. So we also have 2 on there. Now,
Um,
that means the top one cannot
oh,
be a
right.
1. But if this is a 2, you can put the 3 there.
And that would have to be 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So mean, I guess this is 1 through 6. Or, I guess, not 1 or 2.
Right.
And since this can't be a 4, this can't be a 5. Because the only even value is a 2. So this would have to be 1 or 3. But since the 1 has to be on the arrow, it's...
Right.
So that forces 3 to be in this region. It's either here or it ends up being there if that's a 2. Okay. Oh. Where can 9 go in this column? Well, it can't go on the arrows. And this 9 sees this one way over here. So we have to have the 9 in this column here, which takes the 9 off of this. And since these two had to be minimum 15, a 6 and an 8 is only 14. So these are 15.
7, 8. And 1 has to go in box 7.
Right. Oh, well, this 7, 8 is there. So 7, 8 pair makes a 6. Takes off 5. Places a 4, 3. Well, this has to be a 5, doesn't it? Because the rest are 6, 7, 8, 9. And so these are 1, 2, 3, 4. Where that's not 3 or 4. Neither of those is a 4, so that is 1, 2, 3 triple. But that has to be a 6. We can have 1, 3, 4 here and 2, 5 up there. 1, 2, 4 would have to be 3, 5. Oh, well, if this is an 8, then it's 1 with either 2 or 5 or 3 or 4, and that would be 2 or 5 or 3 or 4. Okay, so that's not helpful.
Column 2, the 9 has to be in box 1 because 9 cannot go in column 3 in box 1. Because it would have to be paired with 8 on the Kropke dot, which it can't
Right.
be because 7, 8 pair. That Kropke dot in box 1 can't be 1, 2. Can't be 2, 3, or 3, 4.
8, 9.
So 1 through
1
4
and
is
2
out.
would break that. 2 would break both of those. 4 is out. 3 can't pair, so that is a 5, 6. Well, then this would have to be 3, 4. Well, that's 5 or 7.
So 1, 2, 9, where the 9 is in, we're box 1 there where you just highlighted.
I didn't make a mistake here, did I?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Then the 1, 2, 9 triple there.
3, 4, and
6.
6, yeah.
And 7, 8, 9. 4, 6 means that can't be a 5. So
Kropke dot in box 7. The left side can't have a 1.
because there's no 2. This isn't a 6 anymore.
But look at that Kropke dot in box 3.
3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 pair, so 9. 4 and 5 are removed. 2 is a requirement. It's the only even number. Eight, 9. That's not a 6. 9, 6, 8. Also not an 8. 5, 7,
7,
8,
8, 9.
9.
1, 2,
1,
and
2,
3.
3. Apparently that's a 5 because 6, 7, 8, and 9 are there. 7. 6, 7. 5 is one of those two, so they're not there. 8's a requirement is one of those two, but I don't see it affecting the rest of the row or column. I don't think there's enough info with this at the moment. Two, 3, 5, 8, 9. That's too much. 2, 3, 4 there in that row. Kind of hope this is a 7. I would make that a 3. 6, 7, 8, 5. 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, the 5 would have to be there, so that would be 7, 8, 6, 7, 8 across the top. Make that a 9. I think that's still possible. Although, I guess we can still have a 5 on here with the 1, 2. Is this exciting? 4, 8, 9 aren't possible. 1, 2 looks like it's still possible because it doesn't break either of those. Doesn't seem restricted.
6 and 7 go up there.
What's being missed? No, we have an 8 here. 4. We've got that croppy dot. 1, 2, 2, 3, or 3, 4. But I can't think of a reason why that might be broken. Because everything is allowed over here. And the boxes below. That's not a 2. This isn't an 8. I guess these are 1 through 6. Where's 9 in this row? It's not on the end, it's not on the arrow. That can't be 9. That can't be 9. Those are removed from being 9, but we still have 2 possibilities for 9 in row 7. And we can put an 8 over here, so those aren't even an 8-9 pair. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 1 short. Just see 4 and 8 removed from the top of this. So I guess the bottom can't be a 9.
All right, the box 6, the bottom circle. I can't keep it straight in my head. If it's a 3, then column 8 has a 1-2 pair. Making, yeah, that a 3 and that's a 1-4. Because that can't be 4, it can't be 5 if it's 3.
Right.
Makes that 2, 3. Let's see. And then in row 6, they're in box 6. So it'd be row 6, column 7 would have to be a 1-2. 1 or 2, yeah.
Oh,
It would have to be a 1, and
those two see
that
each
breaks
other.
that. Okay. Good. I was thinking it couldn't be, but I couldn't see where it was breaking because I kept losing track.
Yeah, because the only spots for 1 and 2 are these 3.
Right.
And if we get those as being our 1-2s, there's not room for another. 3 is removed.
Yeah. Like I said, I just couldn't keep... I kept losing track of it.
Well, that makes 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
And because the 2 here makes that. Gives us a 1, 2, 3 triple.
So column 8 has a 1, 2, 3 triple.
Right. 4, 5, or 6 means...
Go up above the box in the
oh,
box.
right.
Yeah.
1 and 3. That's 4 or 5.
So if it's 4, it's 1, 2, or 1, 3. If it's 5, it's 1, 2. Yeah.
Not quite enough. 4 and 4 is 8, so 4, 5, and 6 are removed there. 1, 2, 3, and 4 gives us a 4, a 5, and a 1, 2 pair. 1, 2 pair makes a 3. One, 2 pair makes a 3. 1, 2 pair makes a 3. And 3 and 4 is 7. 3 and 6 is 9. So that's 4 and 7. 8. That was already situated. 9, 7, 6, and 5. 7, 7, 5, 8, 9 pair gives us 6 and 5. No longer a 3. 1, 2 places a 3. Those are removed. 6, 3, 4 pairs of 5. 7, 6, 7's out. 6 is out. 3 and 5 and 9, 4, 6 and 5. A 1, 2 pair takes out 1 and 2. 7 is the odd digit.
So top of the
7 out
column
there.
is 6 or 8. Well, I was thinking the top of the column of column 7.
Yeah. Although this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9. So yeah, that's 3, that's 6, that's 8, that's 9. 7, 6, 7's out, 7's placed, 8 is there, 9, 8, 8. Not 8's 4 and 3, and 9's removed there. Five, 8, 9, 5, 9, 8, 9, 1, 5. 1 and 2, 3, 8, 9, and we're done. Nice. A and East. Logic Masters Germany, that's fine. There we go. Alright. Alright. Next puzzle is going to be reliably unreliable. Okay. Reliably unreliable by Sudoku. Normal, irregular 7x7 Sudoku rules apply. For example, each row, column, and region. I guess that's not for example. What does IE mean?
IE-ID-S, that is.
So, reliably unreliable by Sudoku. Normal, irregular 7x7 Sudoku rules apply. That is, each row, column, and region must contain the digits from 1 to 7 once each. All cages are relic cages. In a relic cage, digits do not repeat, and any combination of one or more digits within such a cage cannot sum to the value in the top left. E.g., or for example, a relic cage with a given value 6 cannot contain the 3 digits 1, 2, and 3, the 2 digits 1 and 5, and the 2 digits 2 and 4, or a single 6. Okay. I think I understand what's going on. So, like, this 8 in here could not put an 8. It's a 7 by 7, so that doesn't work anyway. I couldn't put 1 and 7, 2 and 6, or 3 and 5. And I couldn't put 1, 2, 5, 1, 3, 7. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Let's get this puzzle put in chat. And what do you see?
If we go with, we'll call it box 1. Well, and the thing is, 1, 2, and 3 don't necessarily have to be. They just can't all 3 be in the 6.
Right. But we do know that the digit 6 isn't in here, so that's going to be placed in the 11. Well, you can't put 6 and 5 together, so that goes in the 6. You can't put 1 and 5 together, so that gets placed up here.
Well, the same with kind of the center one. It's got 7 and 8. 7 can't go in the 7 box. It has to go in the 8.
Yeah.
And 1,
1 and 6 and 2. And then we're going to have a 4 placed over here.
And 5
also
can't
have
go
5.
with the 7.
So then there's 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. We can probably get more from the 1, 6, and 11 because the 4 gets placed down here, then the 2 is going to be placed up here, and that's 9. Well, I couldn't put a 9. But this is 1 through 7. Gosh darn it.
Can't put a 3 in the 11 because 6, 2, and 3 is 11.
So then 7 gets placed over here, and 1, 2, 6, 7, 3, 4, and 5. We know that this 8 cannot contain the same digits as this one, because if it did, these would be 1, 2, 3, and then you'd have 4 digits that are 1, 2, and 3 in the column, which is not possible. Oh, let's do... Well, I was going to say let's do these ones, but an 8 and a 9 aren't enough information, because this is 1 through 7.
Okay. Let's start with 7. If 7 goes within the 9, the 2 goes in the 8.
Yeah. 7, 2.
6 would go in 9. 3 would go in 8. 5 would go in 9.
4.
Now we have 1 and 4.
Would force 1.
And that would work. What about the other way? Just to say,
I guess 1 ended up in the 9 regardless. Because we had 1,
Right.
5, 6, and 7. So 1, 5, 6, 7. And 2, 3, 4. And so if the 7 was over here, the 1 would end up over here.
Right.
Now we can't do an 8. So what do we ask instead?
Six.
Well, could we put the 6 with the 7? That would put the 2 over here. Three, 4, and 5. Well, you couldn't put both 4 and 5 over here, so I'd need to place a 3.
Right.
So now it is just 4 and 5. But if I placed a 5 over here,
Right. Then
or
it
a
would be with
4,
1, 2, 3. That would be
yeah, 4 or 5 over here is not going to work. Because 1 and
right.
3 and 5 is 9. So that would place the 5 over here, but then 2 and 3 and 4 is 9. So that doesn't work.
Okay, so that just meant that the 6 can't go over there. So 6 has to, which means the 3 has to go in the 8.
Right. Then the 5. And
2 has to go in the 8 because it can't be, because 1, 5, and 2 would be not. Oh, no, it would be 8. Or
1,
1, 2, and
6,
6.
and 2. Yeah, 1, 2, and 6 is 9. So that's a 2 over here.
But then that puts 4 with the others, and 4 and 5 is 9.
Right. So then that proves that 7 doesn't work then, right? In the 8?
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah,
if
I
there
think
was a
we had,
faster way of solving that.
I don't know. Suppose we could have started with 1.
Yeah. But if we put the 1 in here, that would place the
Plus
7.
the 7, right.
Yeah. But a 1 in here doesn't place anything.
Well, if we had, I guess if we had started with 6 in the 8, that forces the 2 into the 9 and the 7 into the 8,
Mm-hmm.
the 1 into the 9. The 3, the 1 in, and I was lost track. Never mind.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
we know 3, 4, and 5 have to go across row 1.
Right.
And 1 of 1, 2, 6, and 7.
Yeah. Now, one of these, 2, is going to be 3, 4, 5. Could it be 2 of them? It would only be able to be, well, I guess it could be 4, 5, or 3, 4. But then you couldn't put a 1.
Column 7 is kind of the same as row 1, the 2, 3, and 4 having to go in there.
Although it does mean that these 3 are 1, 5, 6, and 7. Which means this is a 4.
Oh, right. Well, 4 is going to have to go in the 11 in column 1.
Right. And it's also going to have to go in this 8. In fact, we know where it is in the 8.
And 7 cannot go in the 11 in that box that's...
Yeah.
Well, that 3, 5 pair in row 3 takes out the 5. Oh, we can place the 4 in column 3. There's a 4, yeah.
So 6 can't go in that 10. And that's going
And
to line up with those 6s.
we need a 4 in column 7, and that should be placeable as well. That's 6, so the 7th one. Yeah.
Now, 3 and 5 in this box. It's not there, and I can't place both of them in the 8. So that actually makes this 3 or 5 and places a 6. 7, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and 7. You can't place the 7 with the 4. One and 2. Three, 5, and 7. Kind of too much. 11 means that these two can't pair to 7. Hmm. Can't put both a 1 and a 3 in here.
Oh, but you can place 7 in that shape, in that region.
Oh, right. Because none of these are 7, and none of those are 7. Now 7's there, so it's neither of those. And it's neither of those, so that's a 7. Not there. 2, 3, triple. Well, now I can't place a 1 in here, so that's a 1. So then a 2 has to be, this is 2, 3, and 5.
1, 3, 5, and 6.
Can't place a 1. Can't place 1 and 3. So then these can't be 3 and 5, but we already knew that. We just know that there's a 2.
Right.
So what about this box? How about this column? 7, 4, 1. And 6 has to be one of those 2.
That cannot be a 1. The last in
This
that
one?
10, that can't be a 1, because if that was a 1, then in the other 2 of that box,
Yeah.
you're either going to have a 5 or you're going to have 2, 3, which will sum to 10.
Right.
Oh. Well, I guess we could have looked at column 5 too, because where's the 1 go in column 5?
Oh. Oh, where's the 7 in this box?
Yeah, so you can't have 3 in the 10 cage.
This 1, 7, 6, 1, 5, 2, 3. 3, 5, 6, 7. This is out, 7's
7
out.
can't go in the 11 cage.
Right. 3, 5 pair places. 6, a 1, 2. 5 places.
2 and
7.
4 is 6. You can't go to 11, so that's a 3.
Nice. Six from left to right. This is row 6. Congratulations, you have solved the puzzle. It's kind of, I think this is kind of more on the average side, because you have to think through what the possibilities can be. I think the easiest one to start with is the center region.
Yeah.
That you did. And then obviously Box 1 shows up pretty easily.
Yeah, well, we knew since in the first box, we knew 6 couldn't go in the 6, so that pushed the 5 down,
Yeah.
and those bounced back and forth fairly easily.
Yeah. Box 7 was pretty tricky to force it to be this way.
Yeah. Well, just because it was harder to prove that it couldn't be 7 in the 8 box
Yeah.
or 8 cage.
I think I'm going to go with average on that puzzle. It's not, like, incredibly difficult, but I think the complexity is a little bit more than easy would be. So, this is definitely something you've got to really think through the options there. Alright. Then, copy that link over here. And we are done with that. So we are on to Harbor by Bert. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells in the cage are the quay and piers of the harbor and have no special restrictions. All other cells are either water, digits 1 to 6, or ships, digits 7 to 9. A ship has a width of 1 cell and a length of 2 or 3 cells and is oriented horizontally or vertically and may not touch other ships, including diagonally. Cells with a circle are buoys in the water. Its digit, 1 to 6, tells how many cells of water it sees horizontally and vertically, including itself. Piers and ships block sight. All buoys are given. Digits separated by a black dot have a 1 to 2 ratio. Not all black dots are given, and digits on a crane thermometer increase from the tower bulb. Okay. Okay. Well, that is mildly intimidating rule set, I think. At least I'm intimidated by it. Now, we know the buoys are all water cells. And this cage is the dock. Okay. Well, we know that this sees 5 water cells. And buoys do still have to be 1 to 6. It's just the dock that doesn't have any restrictions.
Right. But since it sees 5, it has to go at least 2 to, yeah.
This could be 79.
What was the black dot?
1-to-2 ratio.
Okay, so that was normal. Now, in the corners, in row 8, the 2 blue circles, I don't know what one of those could be. Well, yeah, because it would have to be ships otherwise. Ordering both of those if it was a 1 and ships can't touch diagonally.
Yeah. And that's true of this one as well.
Yeah.
In
And the
fact,
1
none of them can be 1s on the buoys, because they would be surrounded by ships.
by yeah. Well, that 1 in column 9, well, no, because ships have to be at least 2, don't they?
Yeah. So this is water. If this was 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that would be 1 through 6 and break that. So this is 6. But it could be a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. 1 through 5 there. And then that's 7, 8, 9. And that would have to be a... Well, it would be whatever the leftover digit is.
The Kropke dot in column 4, at least one of those is blue.
Yeah. But with as much of the column being here,
Right.
we don't know anything about this. Okay, well,
Do we know how many ships there are, or do we have to figure that out?
I think we have to figure that out. We know that 789 is ship in the first three rows. But does that give us enough information to be able to place something? I mean, it's enough information to know that it can't be those two. Because if it was those two, then both of these would be water. But it could be one of them or the other one. Although, actually, can this be ship? We already said it couldn't be this way. So if this one is ship and this one is water, then these three would have to be ship, but then we can't touch diagonally. And so if this is ship, then that cancels out those two. In which case, that would have to be water.
Yeah.
in fact, this one can't be ship either, because then it would make both of those water, and that's only a 5. And this can't be ship, because it would cancel out that one, not necessarily that one. And I could have it be those 3, and then they drop down 1. Okay. Except, hold on, if this is ship, and that is ship, they can't both drop down.
Right.
So if this was a ship, it would make it be those 3, and since it couldn't be there, and these would have to drop down, there would be too much in box 2. So this is water. If this was ship, then, again, this one is canceled out, so I need the 3 here. And because I've already proved this is water, this ship would not have anywhere to go. So this can't be ship, it must be water. Along with the fact that if this is a ship, and then those 3 are ship, and then that has to drop down, there's too much in box 2.
And since the 3 that are uncolored at this point, 2 of those have to be ship,
Yeah.
and they're going to have to attach.
If this was a ship, it would cancel out both of these 2, and would leave 1, 2, 3. Now, this would extend. Where would I place the last one in box 1? It cannot be both of these. Because if it was both of those, then I couldn't put the third one in here. Because they can't touch diagonally.
Right.
And that started with this one, which forced this one, and that one. So this must be water. And now, if this was ship, it would have to be the 3 across. If this was ship, it could go 1, 2, 3. I have to have at least 2 of these.
Well, if the one below the 5 is water, then so does the other one below it. And it can't, because you have to have 3 from 7, 8, 9.
So this
So the
is
one,
forced to be ship.
right,
And then this has to have water here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And ship.
and ship.
And
And
since
water
this...
below the circle, because you can't touch ships diagonally.
And then since this one saw all that this one saw plus 1 more, we get this one.
And the last, in box 2, the last ship cannot go in the second row.
Right. Can't touch diagonally. So then it's these 3. And this one's water.
And that last circle in box 1 can no longer be a 2.
Right.
It's now minimum 4.
Two, 8, or 3.
Well, and we know the other Kropke dot are all less than 8. Not that that's helpful, but
5 isn't allowed. 6 and 3 gets removed.
and that
This sees 5. One of these 2, and whichever one it is, directly below it. So only one of those 2. But this one could be 7, 8, or 9, and it won't matter for the row. This 5 or 6 either makes that one and that one, or this one and that one, or this one and that one. Well, can either of these 2 be... Yeah, they can. Because they can go up. Because I have to have one of those 2 and one of those 2. Yeah, because I know it's one of these 2 only. Then it has to be at least one of these 2. Well, then can this one... If this is a ship, then it can't be that one, so it must be this one. But if it must be this one, it must be the one above it. But then that would make 3. So this must be water.
column 7, the thermo, the bulb is max 6. Well, it can't be 6 because then it would be 7, 8, 9. So it's max 5. So at least one of those must be from 7, 8, 9. So the tip has to be from 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
But it's not ship, though.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
The
Okay.
crane
The crane, yeah.
just increased from the tower,
Okay.
but it's just the cells in the cage that the quay and piers of the harbor with no
Right.
special restrictions.
And since the tip of that thermo is ship, then either the one above or the one below is.
Yeah.
So the one to the left of it has to be blue. Because you have to have another from 789 in that
Right.
column. And it's either directly above or directly below the tip of the thermo.
Because if it was here, then that would be less than 789. So,
Right.
water. And then this is
It's now minimum 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of those two. Now, this one had to be water, right? Because it has
Yes.
to be one of those two, but not this one. So then this
Yeah.
has to be water. This one's now not 4, and this is now not 2.
Well, and column 5 has to have 2 still from 789.
Right. Oh,
And
well,
2
that
of them.
forces this one. So now this can't be a 5. It's maximum 4. Oh, this one is already 5, so if it went to the right...
Yeah, it would be more than.
Yeah.
Yeah, or left. Oh, no, it
Well,
can go
it
one
can
to the
still...
left.
Yeah, it can still go left, but... which would make it 6. But if it went to the right, it would become 7, which is
Right,
allowed.
and that's the last 789 in the column.
Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. This
And
one.
since that's 6, it can't. Yeah.
Blue.
And then that circle in the column is no longer 3. Column 7, sorry.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Box 5, where's the last 789?
Oh. Well, and 3, column 4, the 789 all have to be on somewhere on the pier.
Right. Well, that means this has to be 789, because if this was 789, then that would
The
be...
circle in column 4 has to be a 6 because you can't have a 6 in. Well, I guess it could be a 5 and the 6 above
yeah.
it.
Now, of these 3, can I make this one not 789? Well, that would make this a 789, that a 789, and a smaller digit below. So this is also a 789. Well, not a 7. Or excuse me, not a 9, and then not 7 above it. 8, 9 pair is going to make that 7, which is not red. Well, then these two have to be water now, because I already have 7, 8, and 9. So 2 is out, and so is 2 out there. And if this was a boat, then the 7, 8 would force that to be done. So that's actually water. Those two could be ship.
In box 6, we still need 2 from 7, 8, 9. So it has to be the corner. One of them has to be in the corner.
It has to be that one. And if it has to be another one, then it has to be there.
Yeah, but
Then we get 2 on the pier here with no special restrictions.
oh, right. Column 6 needs a third from 7, 8, 9. Column 5 has all from 7, 8, 9. So that one's less than. So then column 4 in box 8. Oh, we already know only one of those 2 left is from.
Yeah. One of these 2 is required, which means it's either horizontal or it's vertical. And it can't be. Oh, we know it can't be horizontal because one of them has to be up here. Or at least it can't be horizontal in row 5. If it is horizontal, it has to be row 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4. So if this is a 4, that would have to be an 8. But if this is a 6 and a 3, then it would have to be one more, and then it would be
That's
3
too
more than
many.
that. So that's a 4 and an 8.
Yeah, and diagonal from the 8 is a blue.
And now that's at least 3.
Oh, and the circle in box 7 cannot be a 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's either both of these or none of them. So whatever these 2, they're the same. And they're the same as this. And I guess they have to be the opposite of this one. So then this, if these are both water, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if these are our ship, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 either way. If this is water, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Well, that means this is not water.
And the box 7 is now a 3.
I can... Oh, there's a 5 in the row. Well, I can't put 7, 8, or 9 here or here, so this is a 7 or 9. One, 3, 4, 6. Oh, this one sees 3. This one sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one sees 2. One, 3, 4. 3, 2, 6.
Black Kropke dot, column 4. Row 7 has 3 high digits.
2, 3, 4, and 5. 7, 8, 9.
Bottom of column 2 is a low digit.
Where is 6 in here? One of those two. Okay. That was unhelpful.
Of constraint on Kropke dots.
Yeah. This one is not 8 or 9, nor is it 4, 5, or 6, and apparently not a 3. 4, 5, 6, and 3. box 6, top this into 4.
Where's 3 in box 8?
Top and middle is removed. And there, and that's 7, 8, 9, so that must be 3. On 2 pair places of 5. Seven, 8 pair places at 9. That was a long time ago. Where's 9 in this row? It's not in box 7. Can't be there because of this thing, the crane thermo. That's a 4. That's water, which is max 5. That's water, which is max 6. That's water, which is max 6. So that's a 9. 9's removed. 9's removed. Where's 8 in this row? One of those two. Okay. Well, that means it's not here. One, two, three, four, 5. 5. 1, 4, 6. Apparently all the 5s. Six has to be one of those two. Threes. So that would be one of those two, one of these 3, one of those 2, and one of those 2. Be a 3 there. Okay. So that's not enough information over here. But it does mean this is either 1, 3, Well, I guess it just means that this isn't a 4.
Right, because then those would both be 1s.
So either this is a 1 and that's a 3, or this is a 3 and a 4 or a 6 with 1s here. If this is 1, that would be 6 and 2 or 4. If this was 6, that would be 1. No, if this was 6, that would be 2 and 1. A 6 would place a 4, would place a 3, would place a 4, would place a 3. Six, 4, 3. 1, 2, 4, 2. So that's 3, 4, and 1. I want to just see the thing, but there's a part of me that wants to start picking something and be like, okay, can this be 1 or 6? And if it is, what happens? Three and 4 are both in this group. Okay, well, one of these has to be 8, which is going to be followed by 9. And so the other is 8 preceded by 7. Well, okay, so what that means is 8 is a requirement on both of them, because an 8 places a 9 places an 8. So this isn't an 8 up here, And this isn't an 8. Then what? Well, if this was 7, 8, 9, you'd have your 1, 2. That would be a 9. So that would be a 9, an 8. Okay, well, let's do it this way. 7, 8, 9. 8, 7, 8, 9. 8, 9, 7, 8 there. 9, 7 or 8. And 8 makes this a 7. So that would be 8. 7, 9. 7, 9 pair, 7, 9 pair. This would be 8, so 7, so 9, so 7. 8 there. 7, 9. That's 9. So 7. Well, that would be fine. Oh, wait a second. Can this be 7 or 9? I know one of those two is 8. I guess I don't see why not immediately. Because this can be that.
Right.
But, okay, one of those two is 7, 8, 9. That's a requirement.
Right.
So this one has to be that one?
Yes.
I guess the other thing is one of those two has to be 7, so that can't be 7 anyway. Alright, I think I need to match some colors. So how about red, red, yellow, red, yellow. Okay, one of those two is red. One of those two is yellow. Red and yellow.
Bottom of column 8. is yellow.
Does it have to be?
Oh, I guess it could be.
It can't be red, but it could be 7.
Right, yeah. I wasn't seeing the 9 in the box, even though it was smack there in the middle.
Yeah. Hello? This doesn't feel like it's getting me anywhere. I could maybe try and do 7 and 9.
Oh. Well, 7, 8 in boxes 8 and 9 that are on the pier
Uh-huh.
have to be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, we already knew that. Never mind.
And then those two have to be the same. That can't be red. Red is larger than yellow, so if this was red, that would have to be green. But if that's green, that's yellow. Green. Whatever it is, it's gotta be red. So green. Green. Yellow, green. Yellow, green. Red, yellow, green. Green has to be one of those two, because either this is green, and that's yellow, or this is red, which is larger than yellow, so that's green. So this isn't green. Not certain about this. It's probably just going to be easier to ask the question of where the 6 goes over here, because if this is 6, then that's 2 and 1. You get 3, 4, and 6. 4 and 3. 2 and 4. 4 place of 1. 3 or 4. 2, 4. 6, so that's 2. One, make that a 3. This a 4. That's a 6. Or if that's a 1, this is a 2. And it couldn't be a 1. That's 1, that's a 4. 6. Four. Well, now this isn't getting enough progress.
Hmm. Oh.
Oh.
Right. Never mind, I was missing something. All buoys are given.
All
Box
buoys are
6,
given?
bottom corner. All buoys are given. So box 6, the bottom corner, cannot be a 4.
Oh.
I had to look back at the rules.
That's such a hard thing to remember.
Negative constraints are always.
Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This. 1, 2, 3, 4. So neither of these can be 4, right?
Correct.
1, 6, 4. Nine, 8, 7, 9, 8, 2, 4, 8, 1, 2, 7, 9, 8, 7, 7. There we go.
Ugh. Yep, the negative constraint. We remembered that earlier.
Yeah,
When it
it's
gets too
it's
hard,
so hard
when
to.
it gets too hard, go back and reread the rules.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with hard on that one. I mean, even if we were thinking about the negative constraint there, it's still like I don't know, really like just those two parts. I kind of like the negative constraint puzzles where you're thinking about the negative constraint throughout the puzzle rather than as a disambiguator at the end. But I think that's just
Yeah.
a personal preference because then I don't forget about that rule. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like in the anti-night.
Yeah. I think rating. I think that is going to be it for today. We only have 15 minutes left, so I think I'll leave that as a spoiler for next week. Copy this into here.
I mean tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. My apologies. I am bad with the days of the weeks. Yeah. I say like yesterday and tomorrow, and will like mean like the previous time or the next time, and then I'll say like next week and mean tomorrow, and tomorrow won't even be next week. I don't know. It's just so annoying trying to think of all of the different phrases we have for some arbitrary time in the future. I don't know. This is just my failure to be able to speak correctly. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so if it was Wednesday
If it was Wednesday.
and you were talking about Friday
Uh-huh.
next week, what would you call it? Would you call it next Friday?
No, that's the Friday of next week. If I'm trying to be precise with my language.
Because I would say if it was Friday of the following week, I would go ahead and call it next Friday. If I meant Friday of this same week, I would say this Friday. And it's strange because the females that say agree with that, but the males tend to be the reverse. If it's Wednesday and you say next Friday, it means 2 days.
Yeah.
It's the next Friday coming up. But that seems and it does seem to be gender related on that one,
I mean,
oddly enough.
for
It shouldn't
me,
be, but it seems to come across that way.
yeah.
Ask Sarah what she says.
Um, I can do that. I'd want to see polling data to before applying that along gender lines, but
Well, that just seems to be what
yeah.
I have seen myself.
Um, yeah. I guess when I'm thinking about it, like next just means like the next one. So like if I'm trying to refer to next week, the Friday of next week, then I would add the extra precision. But that's just because I know that um, dates and times and all of that can be very um, the I'm trying to figure out the right wording, but like, because different people interpret things different ways, like just saying next Friday is imprecise, and the ambiguity is I know I don't particularly like it, and so I would clarify if somebody said next Friday to be to ensure that I knew what they meant. But yeah. I don't know. I can't think of more things to say on that, so did you have anything else to say on that one?
No.
Okay.
It was
I'll
just a
ask.
weird thing that I've come across.
Yeah. I'll ask Sarah what her perspective on it is.
But yeah, everyone that has responded to that with me,
Mhm.
every man has said, "Well, no, Friday in 2 days is next Friday."
Yeah.
But
It is the
every
next Friday.
every woman I've said, "Well, no, next Friday would be next week,
Mhm.
and the Friday in 2 days would be this Friday. It's this week."
Mhm. Yeah. If somebody said this Friday, that is less ambiguous. So the the ambiguity is stuck on whether or not next Friday is the upcoming one or the Friday after the upcoming one if it's close. I don't know. All right. I am ready to end stream. Any final thoughts, Mama?
Nope, I barely have beginning ones, so
All right. Then, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you are interested in more Sudoku content live, that is 8 p.m. on Mondays and Tuesdays, Eastern Time. And if you would like to see other content, as I am a variety gamer, I have been playing Monster Hunter World on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you are interested in other content, then I have been randomly streaming Final Fantasy VI. I will try to get back to that this week. I have not been the most consistent with that, and I think I've missed a few weeks. So I'll try and finish up Final Fantasy VI so I can play Final Fantasy VII Remakes Part 1 and 2. And then I have been requested to play The Last of Us. And then I have also been requested to play... what was it I was asked to play? War Sim, The Realm of Aslonia. Aslona. Aslona? I'll figure it out.
I have no clue.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that is going to be the hopefully upcoming games that I play. Outside of that, if you have any requests, put those in the comments down below. And I will see you all next time. Or actually, I won't see you, because I can't see out of your screens or out through your cameras, unfortunately. Maybe? I don't know. Now I'm making it weird. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.